Hey guys, I'm filming this video on election day before we know any results to give you some astrological thoughts on what is happening, particularly if you are an American, and how to handle the results of the election regardless of if they're favorable or unfavorable to what you want to happen. So, first off, if you follow my videos or my forecasts, you might already be aware America is experiencing its Pluto return. Now, this is something that doesn't happen for people usually because it takes over 200 years to get to a point of a Pluto return. America, the United States, is at its first one as a country, a political entity. So a Pluto return is a very potent time, but Pluto rules the underworld. Not like the sort of hell that we sort of think of with a little devil with a pointy pitchfork, but the underworld, the world of shadows, the world of things that are hidden. And yes, it can be a scary place because often the things that we hide and subjugate and push down in our psyches are those things that we do not want to see, those things that we do not want to admit, either about ourselves or what we've been through or about what others have done. We want to see people as good. We want to see ourselves as good. And we are. Ultimately, the truth of the human being is that the base of us is love. But that doesn't change the fact that sometimes actions we've taken, traumas we've experienced, things we've done on accident or on purpose to others have hurt people, and that's really difficult to face. And when you look at a nation filled with people throughout history, filled with people who maybe were seeking power for power's sake, people who were seeking financial well-being at the expense of others, things like that. There's a lot that you can see have gone into the shadow aspects of what the United States is and how it's manifested today. All that being said, I want you to know that when there's a Pluto return, the important thing is to be able to hold the energy of what we want in the world, which is probably love, probably peace, probably kindness, and probably a world that's much better for the children of today in their tomorrows and their children in their tomorrows than it is for us today. We want to build a better world, a more peaceful world, a kinder world. And as we sit here, sometimes it's really easy in moments like this to project those things onto a particular moment. So we might say, oh, if this candidate wins, then these things will happen. The truth of the matter is, no matter what the outcome of a particular election is or a particular circumstance, even if you're not in the US, the outcome will be what we create. And yes, different actions create different reactions, right? But no matter what happens, whether you feel excited about the results, whether you feel downhearted about the results, from an astrological perspective, from a Pluto return perspective, the important thing is to hold the energy of what you want to create and to sit here in the reality, the present reality, and see it for what it is. One of the things it is a passing moment in time. This moment will pass. Whether it's good, whether it's bad, whether you're elated, whether you're sad, whether you're indifferent, whether you don't like anything that happens, sitting here and holding the energy and experiencing what you're feeling, processing it through your body, will help us get to the next moment where we create the thing we want to see. And so what I want you to consider is the things we're attracted to and the things we're repulsed by they're almost two sides of the same coin. You know, we're promised sweetness and we're promised sourness. And these two things bouncing back and forth between attraction and aversion can create a sense of looking back and forth and a sense of uneasiness. And that's often what happens when you're given a difference between two choices. You're like, oh, I want this, I don't want this. And then your attention is diverted back and forth. What astrology would suggest is to hold the energy of the middle ground. So no matter what happens in this choice or this choice, what is it you'd like to see? What is the path you're choosing going forward? What are your actions going to be? So bring it back to the self. And if you do that, the Pluto return of the entire nation will be more easeful, will be more peaceful. Hold the energy of staying true to your inner self. And the outer world, if we all do that, the outer world will begin to be what we're all co-creating. So never forget that no matter who wins an election, or if you're watching this after the election, what happens in a particular circumstance, whether you get a job you want or you don't get a job you want, or you get some fun trip you want or you don't get to go, you know, it's how you hold the energy of who you are and where you're going. So that's my thoughts today for how to handle America's Pluto return election time. And if you are watching this, you know, send me a message. If you have questions, drop me a comment. And if you need some help, schedule a free 15-minute consultation with me. I'm happy to chat with you. These aren't sales calls unless if you want them to be and you're curious about my services. I just offer these right now as a way to support you and what you are going through in this, you know, trying but potent time. So take care of yourselves, hold the energy. Have a great one.